Xtar has a new charger on the market, the X4. I previously looked at the X2, but today I have a review of the X4, the 4-way version. It's capable of 4 amps and is capable of charging lithium-ion and nickel metal hydride batteries with AC or 5-volt USB power. Thanks to Xtar for sending this to me to take a look at and review. So the packaging here is kind of similar to the X2, but just larger. You've got this white box with the picture of the charger on the front. Then on the side, you've got a few facts like 2 amp current, LCD display, 2 input ports, and it uses USB out. On the back, you've got some statistics, the Xtar charging technology, and the anti-counterfeit sticker. And on this side, you've got all the different sizes of batteries that the charger supports. The package contains the charger, AC cable, and the manual. Nothing here special. Construction. The Xtar X4 charger is a 4-bay charger that can accommodate most common battery sizes. I had no trouble with 18650s, 2 26650s, 4 26650s. It'll take pretty much anything. This, you can see here I've got the charger loaded up with different batteries. I've got a 26350, a 2700, a AAA, and a 26650. You can see fitting 2 26650 diameter batteries right next to each other is no problem. It accommodates that just fine. And I can run the 2700 just fine here. This will not take a protected 21700. The metal sliders here are nice and smooth. That's not something I see from all chargers, but that's something that Xtar does nice. And they have enough tension to put a battery in one-handed or take it out if you're a little bit careful. The body here is black ABS plastic. It's anti-flame retardant. It's kind of in an X configuration here with these little indentions, similar to the X2 that I reviewed a couple months ago. Both chargers on the back here have little vents, but are not active cooling, so they have no fans or anything like that. And I didn't really notice it get warm during use. On the back here, it's got all the stats too, which is kind of nice to see. On the top side, you have all the power inputs. So this is primarily an AC charger, and you've got this common universal cable. I found this on other chargers, some laptops, things like that. Pretty common port there, so chances are you've got a cable that fits this already if you were to lose your one that the charger comes with. You can also use an input of USB power, 5 volts, 2.1 amps, so pretty common micro USB. It'd be nice if that was USB-C, but unfortunately micro USB is still more common. And then you've got the ability to use this as a power bank via USB-A, and I'll be demonstrating that later. I did take some photos of the inside of the charger here. I'm not a circuit engineer, but to me the quality looks pretty good. The quality of the solder joints look good, and a few components are not 100% squarely placed on the circuit board, but not too bad either. I didn't see any cold joints or anything that alarmed me. If you see something that concerns me, make sure to leave a comment about that. This screen's a little bit hard to get on video here, but I will do my best to show it and include some photos as well. It's a dark blue screen with a dark background and white text, and it's kind of like tinted blue here, and you can see it's got a backlight that does time out, which I love. That makes it easier for nighttime charging if you're going to do that. On each bay, you get a 0 to 100% indicator in 20% increments. At the bottom, you get a count of how many milliamp hours the battery has put, or the charger has put into the battery. You get the charging rate, and you get the voltage of the cell. So this is showing me cell 2, so it's 26650, and cell 3, if I push the button again, I get cell 2 and 4. If I had a battery in slot 1, you'd see that as well. The performance of the X4 is similar to the X2, but faster. The X4 will charge up to 1 amp for all 4 slots, or 2 amps on the outer slots if that's all you've got batteries in and they're the appropriate types. The charger has reverse polarity protection and had no problems with that. Battery chemistry is correctly identified in all my tests, and no problems there. Depending on the battery voltage, the charger will apply the proper charge for most cell types. So let me take out the 26650 here, and you can see I've got the 18350 in here, and that's only charging at ½ amp, which is like what I like, so good. Yet the 2700 over here is charging at 2 amp speed. Yet if I push the button here again, turn on the backlight, you can see this AAA is charging at ½ amp right now. And that's because I have just plugged it in. If the charger runs a little bit longer, that's the one complaint I have, is that it detected my Duracell AAAs as nickel metal hydrides, which is the proper chemistry, but after a little bit of time starts charging them at 1 amp each. That's a little bit faster than I like to charge my small capacity batteries at. For AA's, that's not a problem, but for those AAA's, it's like I said, it's just faster. They don't get hot or anything like that. While it's not terrible, it's not what I prefer to do. I had no complaints with the lithium ion side, and arguably that's the most dangerous, so it's good to see Xtar doing that correctly. The charger does have 0 volt activation, although that's generally not recommended for batteries with lithium chemistry. It works great for nickel metal hydride. For charging, it's a 3-step process, a TC, CC, and CV with soft start technology, and that helps overall battery longevity and long-term health. And I had no problems with excess heat during charging. This charger also has a power bank function. If you insert a battery into cell 4 here, it turns on, and you can see that it's saying that bay 4 is USB and the cell is 100%. That's not 100% accurate in my case, but if I plug in my cell phone, you can see the phone has come on to charge, and it's just sitting here charging. This only works with lithium batteries. That's not surprising given the voltage. Plug in your USB cable and then you can charge any USB device. It's really simple to use, and it's a nice feature to have, although it's not one that I use very often. One thing I did want to remind you is that this charger does have that micro USB input as well as AC power. So if you are somebody who has a solar array or maybe some solar panels and are buying this charger for disaster preparedness, that would work great to plug your solar panels into, and then you can charge your batteries and then charge your phone. One thing to note, that you cannot charge your batteries and your device off the USB at the same time. So here's an example of that soft start technology. It's charging both these at 2 amps, and then these center 2 AA's, or AAA and AA at ½ amp each. So that's technically over the 4 amps. This won't last. As the charger keeps charging, it will finish up, and it will be a higher, it'll be the correct 4 amp charge rate. So for me, the pros are it's all automatic. This makes the charger very easy to use, but doesn't give enthusiasts any options on what speeds to charge batteries at. Default settings are generally conservative, which is a good bet. This is AC powered charger. It's fairly standard cable, and the charger is compatible with 120, 240 volts, so it's safe to use for international use. And it can also be powered via micro USB. And another pro is it's affordable. At US retailers, it's coming in between $25 and $30 generally, and that's pretty affordable for a 4-bay charger. My cons are I'd like to see the USB input be USB-C over micro USB because it is 2019. One of my cons is it's a little high a charge rate for AAA batteries in my opinion. And a con would be a total of 4 amps only is a little bit slow for a 4-bay charger in 2019. My conclusion is the Xtar X4 is a nice updated charger for Xtar. It's pretty affordable priced, and I'm a big fan of Xtar chargers because they are good value, provide a quality, safe charging experience. I was a fan of the X2 and the VC4 before that, and I'm also a fan of the X4. A total charge rate of 4 amps between 4 bays is a little bit slow when charging for 18650s or larger lithium-ion batteries. Most larger modern batteries can easily accommodate 2 amps charging speed. That said, this is an upgrade over Xtar's previous 4-bay model, the VC4, which I also own. That was quite a bit slower, but I still end up using it a fair amount. For me, it'd be nice to see the X4 do a total of 8 amps, but this might make it a little bit less easy to use because you'd probably have to have options to select and change settings and things like that. Maybe that's what a future product is for, one catered a little more toward enthusiasts with options, and that would have a higher charge rate. Until then, the X4 does a nice job of charging at an affordable price, and I recommend it. As always, guys, thanks for subscribing. I'm thinking of doing a Patreon. Let me know what you'd think of that in the comments below, if that's something you'd be interested in, and maybe I'll get that set up here one day. If you have any comments or questions on the X4, I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And as always, thanks for liking and subscribing, and make sure you do share this with your friends on social media. Thanks for watching.